Hey guys, I am not joking about this whole I'm super busy thing. I'm literally doing laundry while I'm filming an intro, kind of to make a point, but also because I'm really short on time. I am so busy right now that I don't have very much time to cook my meals. I've always liked to cook, but I just don't have time to be in the kitchen because I am in full swing with my revision of my book, as well as a lot of different exciting life things happening that I can't really disclose at the moment, but I'm very excited about them. I still find time to eat healthy. Now healthy is all relative, depends on like what your lifestyle choices are. I eat a vegan diet. I eat mostly gluten-free and low oil, low salt, that type of thing. I'm just gonna show you some of my favorite meals that can be done very, very quickly. Some of them do require waiting, but the prep time is quick. Also, some of them are very, very fast and others are moderately fast. So it really just depends. And I just kind of wanted to make this video just to give you ideas on how to cook quickly and to still eat healthfully and take care of yourself while you're in a busy state of your life. And also just to remind you, because some of these things are like, oh duh, that's super easy, such as oatmeal. I know how to make oatmeal. I just added it in here, but some of them really are recipes. I also want to give a shout out to my mother who helped me out with some of these recipes. She just has that sort of brain power to think of creative recipes, and she's very fast in the kitchen as well. Another thing I want to say that can help you cook more easily or quickly when you are on a time crunch is to know what you're doing with the knife. Now, a lot of healthful foods, you're just gonna have to chop them because it includes veggies and fruit. If you know how to chop quickly, it's gonna dramatically decrease the time you are in the kitchen. Now, a lot of this comes with practice, and a lot of this also is just being taught. If you never really taught how to handle a knife and how to chop carrots or onions quickly, you're gonna have to learn. And I actually have a little tip at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. Whew, I am literally so stressed right now. I'm actually trying to sleep more than normal because it can support me in this time of, whoa, Nelly, slow down. Another thing I want to add is that although, you know, YouTubers have this sort of like weird stance of being like, look how I do things, this is how you should do it too. That's not at all what I'm suggesting. It's more just like, hey, I feel like I have a pretty good hang on eating healthfully while being busy, so I'd like to share some tips with you, but I am by no means of the imagination perfect. So I still eat junk food, I still have alcohol from time to time, I don't eat perfectly, but in general, when I'm at home, I choose to eat as healthfully as I can, and I'd love to inspire you to do the same so that we can be full of energy. And that's kind of the reality too, like when we are so busy and we don't have time to cook, then we eat junk food because it's more convenient. Even if it's vegan and cruelty-free, it's more convenient, but then it's not as good for our bodies, and then you wake up the next day groggy and you're not as motivated to exercise, which then gives you lack of energy for the rest of your day, and it's just this big spiral downward. And that's why I really like to talk about starting with what's on your plate, eating more greens, eating more fruits, veggie forward type of meals, and then it just sets you up for success. So I hope these ideas are helpful. I will see ya at the end of the video. Whoa, Nelly.
The first meal I am starting out with today is fruit. Now, just bear with me. I think fruit is often forgotten or only eaten as a snack, and I just want to bring it up here because we can actually eat it as a meal, especially the first meal of the day. It's so fresh and refreshing and hydrating and really sets you up for success in terms of healthy eating. You make a really good choice in the beginning, and you tend to make better choices as the day goes on. Just a note here to focus on fruit that is in season and very ripe and organic, and you're actually going to appreciate it more because it is going to taste better. If you have a farmer's market near you, take advantage of that. My next meal is going to be something so simple, but another reminder is oatmeal. It's so easy to make. Now, I just want to point out that I've been eating steel cut oats, which I have heard many times are much healthier for you because it's like oats in their whole form, but they do take quite a bit longer to cook. So what I do is because I have the luxury of, you know, doing a lot of my work from home, I let them cook while I'm working, and then I just, you know, I'm nearby so I can stir them when I need to. But old-fashioned rolled oats are much faster, and even faster are instant oats, which I totally use sometimes, but lately I've been enjoying and taking the time for steel cut oats because it's just sitting and waiting. It's not like I actually have to take extra time. And I am adding lots of toppings on here, like fresh fruit. You can add frozen fruit, which I do often as well. I found the most amazing vegan yogurt from Coco June. Oh my gosh, this stuff is amazing and addicting, delicious. And I like to add maca powder and cacao nibs and maple syrup and dates inside the oats to cook with the oats. You can add bananas, granola. There's so many things you can add, and it's super filling. The next recipe I have here today are tacos made with yams, black beans, and kale. This does require some chopping, but keep in mind you can either buy some things already chopped. They sell frozen yams pre-chopped at a lot of grocery stores. They also sell a lot of pre-diced onions at certain grocery stores. It does use quite a bit of plastic, but if convenience is your main priority, definitely an option for you. Just chop all your veggies and cook them together. This could totally work in a pressure cooker, although I don't use a pressure cooker. And when you're using your fresh kale, you're getting your greens in there, which is really nice. And it's not like an overwhelming kale flavor. It just adds a really good texture and flavor to the meal. And you can eat this by itself, or you can serve it on top of rice, or you can eat them like we did in tacos. So just put them in your tortillas and add guacamole on top, and you have a delicious Mexican meal. Our next recipe is something that is so delicious. I can't believe I haven't had the chance to share this with you yet. This is a recipe my mom sort of developed over the years. It's like lime coconutty and very thick and creamy. It does require some chopping, and I would have to say that the hardest part to chop is the ginger, because you need to peel the ginger, and I find ginger difficult to work with anyway, but it adds so much to the dish that it's necessary. So I do want to point out, if packaging is not something you're concerned about, you can buy pre-minced ginger. Just keep in mind that sometimes brands will add sugar in, so you want to avoid that added sugar. Making these coconut lentils is a lot like making a soup, and I bet this could work at a pressure cooker as well. You just kind of have to add everything together and let it simmer, but it gets nice and thick because the lentils puff up. And then you're going to serve this over rice. And my mom does this really cool thing where she makes the rice in a pot that's larger than the contents, and then she adds raw spinach to it and stirs it in. The spinach wilts, and it adds not only a really pretty color, but adds more nutrients because the spinach is so high in nutrients and really good for you. When I was eating this night, I packaged it up in a container to take to work because I had a meeting right after class. So I just put it in a container, and it's very fast and easy, super easy meal. And now we have the laziest of all lazy meals. These are just baked sweet potatoes. Now, again, bear with me. I know it's not a recipe. I might not be sharing anything new, but I just want to remind you that you can eat something so simple and easy and still be getting lots of great nutrients in and feel really satisfied and healthy. This meal does take time because you have to wait for it to bake in the oven, but it takes virtually no prep. So the idea is, if you're at home, maybe you're like gonna do a workout after work, and you can throw the potatoes in, and then after your workout you can eat the meal. A little trick here when you are baking the sweet potatoes: choose sweet potatoes that are relatively the same size, because they're going to take the same amount of time to cook. Because if you have smaller sweet potatoes like the ones I cooked in this video, it only took maybe 30 to 40 minutes, but if you have larger sweet potatoes, it might take over an hour. Just keep that in mind. You really want it to be very, very soft when you pull it out of the oven and almost caramelized. Otherwise, it's just going to be crunchy and not have that same depth of flavor. You can top these sweet potatoes with virtually anything. You can use hummus or guacamole, tahini, or maple syrup even. I just used salt and pepper, and I was very satisfied. This next meal is made with a grain called Freaka. Freaka is like the new quinoa. It's all trendy and hyped, and it's very delicious. And it has like this really nice nutty flavor. The big difference between Freaka and quinoa is that they are both high in protein, but Freaka is not gluten-free like quinoa is. So just keep that in mind if you are celiac or something like that. Just cook your quinoa according to the package, and then you're just gonna mix it with a bunch of vegetables as well as your favorite vegan yogurt. I use that cocoa June yogurt again because it's so bomb. And then we're adding garbanzo beans and herbs and things like that. This is really just sort of like a salad, but it's actually really satisfying for dinner as well because it's quite hearty. The Freaka is so filling, and then the yogurt, you get your like fats in there as well. It's actually a very filling meal, even though it might not appear to be so. This next meal is simply a roasted salad. I love adding roasted veggies on top of my salads because I get more variety of veggies in there, and it's very easy to meal prep and then refrigerate and use over the next few days. So today I chose squash, bell pepper, sweet potato, and romanesco, that beautiful Dr. Seuss looking vegetable that we all love. Tastes a lot like cauliflower. After I roasted them, I just put them over some fresh spring mix along with avocado and chickpeas, and then I kind of made up my own dressing, but you can use whatever dressing you like. I used lemon juice, balsamic vinegar, nutritional yeast, salt, pepper, and maple syrup. Is that it? yeah, I think that's it. And it was really, really good and simple. This next recipe is a wrap, and I actually have been doing a lot of wraps lately because it's just like a fun way to mix it up, and so you kind of feel like you're eating a burrito, but it's not a burrito. And I discovered this wrap brand that I really like. The base is apple, and it's totally like guilt-free and all that stuff, and very soft and durable at the same time. I've had some other raw wraps that are really hard, and I have like a weird bite where I can't really chew things very easily, so having a soft wrap is actually very helpful. I added the leftover roasted veggies from the day before, as well as some avocado and some leftover cashew cream and some salsa and hot sauce. Now, this was an easy, fast meal because I had everything prepped, right? So if you have a sauce that you really like, maybe one that you bought or one that you made ahead of time, it's so easy to make this. You know, I made this in like less than 5 minutes, and it was really, really satisfying and delicious. The last recipe is just some mashed potatoes, but we're gonna mix it up a little bit and make mashed potatoes along with sweet potatoes and a carrot to add some color in there. And you're just going to boil all your potatoes, and don't even worry about peeling them because we're not worried about getting that like super creamy Thanksgiving type mashed potatoes. This is purely for nutrition, getting some calories in and making it quick and easy, because who likes to peel potatoes? That takes forever. After all your veggies are boiled, you're just gonna mash them up and add your seasoning along with it. I added salt as well as garlic powder and a little bit of almond milk. You want your potatoes to be very, very soft so that when you mash them, they're not it's just very easy, and it's not an issue at all, especially because you have the skin on. And then you're gonna add some raw spinach in there again to like wilt it. You don't have to cook the spinach, you're just gonna stir it in to add some extra nutrition and color. And this is really good and simple, and yes, potatoes are healthy.
Hey, it's me, still folding laundry. I hope that video was helpful and exciting for you to start making some of those recipes. Also, don't look at how bad of a folder I am. I just want to take a second to talk to you about our sponsor today. It is Skillshare. I've talked about Skillshare many times in the past because I love working with this company, and it fits perfectly with our topic today of being like a hustler and having a lot going on and being super busy, but also wanting to be efficient with our time and staying healthy. Skillshare is an online learning community that helps you learn skills that maybe you otherwise would have been fiddling around on your own for months trying to figure out, or taking a really expensive class elsewhere. This makes it really affordable and easy for you. You guys know I'm a really busy person with lots of passion projects, and I love hearing about how you guys are similar. You guys have passion projects yourself, you have other things you're working on that you really care about, and that's why I think it's so important to be really efficient with our time and learning new skills so that we aren't just floundering around in the sea of what's. And actually what's so cool about Skillshare is they have all these classes that are actually dedicated not only teaching you about time management, teaching you about productivity, teaching you how to beat procrastination, but they can teach you certain skills so that you can just be more efficient, such as knife skills. And I know this sounds really silly. Why would you have to take a class on how to chop? But if you've never learned how to chop something, also, oh my gosh, I'm so hot in here. If you've never learned how to chop something, then you're probably in the kitchen saying, oh, it's so hard to eat healthy because you're being really inefficient with your chopping. They also have classes on building a business, so you with your entrepreneurial goals, they help you have more directions. You're not just kind of wandering around aimlessly. Or let's say you want to grow your social media or do a YouTube channel or something like that. There are classes for editing photos, editing videos. Learning these skills up front with direction, with guidance, will save you time in the long run so you aren't just floundering around. I would love to hear how you guys like this service. I think it's awesome. The first 500 people who are subscribers and click my link in this description will get a 2-month trial for free, and then after that, an annual membership is only $10 a month. So go ahead and click that link and get started, and let's start taking care of ourselves during this busy time. Is anyone as busy as I am? I feel like I'm drowning. But I'm still eating oranges and potatoes, lots of potatoes.